Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the inaugural match of the NextGen 2012 Tour. Johnny Bravo versus NextGen All-Stars. We are just outside of Denver, and wouldn't you know it, it's a blustery day here in Colorado. It looks like we're going to start out with the NextGen All-Star team on defense. Out there on the line, we have Will Driscoll, Chris Cocker, Eric Johnson, Tyler DiGirolamo, Jimmy Mickle, and Tommy Lamar. On the Bravo offensive line, Jackson Kluwer, Owen Westbrook, Josh Ackley, Evan Pageant. That's Clark Bishop. And here we go with the pull. Westbrook catching it, centering it to Ackley. Bravo in a side stack. Westbrook with the disc. Back to Ackley. Westbrook deep immediately to Jackson Kluwer. He's got a read on it, and a goal for Johnny Bravo. Jackson Kluwer, a hot cutter out of Colorado. He is second in goals at the U.S. Open for Johnny Bravo. He's been doing real well this year for them. Owen Westbrook, a very veteran handler. I'm sure we'll see that connection quite a few times this game. Bravo starts it out easy with a quick shot, and NextGen looks to answer on offense. NextGen offensive line, we have Jacob Jannon, Dylan Freechild, Camden Allison Hall, 3 South Eugene graduates right there, Colin Camp, Philip Haas, Alex Thorne, and Tyler DiGirolamo. And Johnny Bravo with the pull. Haas to catch it, centers the Thorne. NextGen in a vert stack. Jannon on the sideline. Center to Haas. Bravo seems to be playing a little bit soft on the man. DiGirolamo up to Thorne. Thorne on the sideline. Blade to DiGirolamo. He goes up big for the goal over Hilka Snyder, and NextGen with a quick offensive point too. That is Alex Thorne throwing to his teammate out of Pittsburgh, Tyler DiGirolamo. An offensive connection we saw a lot in the college scene, and they're clearly comfortable with the disc out there. After 2 quick shots from Bravo and NextGen, both teams are looking smooth. Defense hasn't really kicked in yet, but as far as the offense goes, teams are handling the disc well in this wind and looking very nice out there. The NextGen D-line, we have Will Driscoll from Texas, Eric Johnson, a returner on this bus, Chris Cocker, Tommy Lamar, Tommy Lee, Jimmy Mickle with the pull, and at the end there, Camden Allison Hall. Here we go, Mickle with the pull. Westbrook, 5 yards back in his end zone, centers to Ackley. 11 yards to Rome. Rome on the sideline. Back to Ackley. Goes around Evan Pageant. Ackley. Rome with a drop. Nerves coming in. Down on that sideline. A hot pass on the undercut. Jimmy Mickle to pick up. Mickle getting stuck on that sideline, looking for a bailout. Hits Johnson. Johnson to Lamar. Lamar in the middle to Driscoll. And a call on the field, pick in the stack. Disc gets tapped back in. Mickle 15 yards out, hammer over the top to Johnson. Johnson all the way over to Chris Kocher, and a goal and a break for NextGen. The first break of this game Off of a drop earlier in that point, NextGen handles this easily and puts it in, goes up 2-1. That is quite the throw from EJ, going all the way across the field, a little blade over the stack, and finds Kotcher on the other side.
NextGen with the break, 2-1.
NextGen looking surprisingly smooth out here. They've only had a short time to practice with each other. The bus coming into Colorado yesterday morning. They got one practice in with most of the team. Jacob Janin had yet to fly in. But out there, they look like they're working well together, something that you enjoy seeing. Jimmy Mickle with the pull to Bravo offense. Outside in, it's going to hit the ground 5 yards outside the end zone. Captain Ryan Farrell with the disc to Westbrook. NextGen in a bit of a junk zone. Ooh, a hammer over the top from Westbrook. Camden Allison Hall under it. And Rome makes up for the last play. A nice play over two NextGen defenders. Lamar and Allison Hall. Bravo is continuing down the field. Durst on the sideline. Puts it in the middle to Rome. Rome to Ackley. Ackley around the break side to Durst. Up the sideline to Kluwer. Puts it back to Ackley. He's going to swing across the field to Farrell. Looking break side. Back to Ackley. Goes up line. Farrell's got it. 10 yards out. Ackley and a miscue between Ackley and Clark Bishop. Gives NextGen a full field to work in for their second break of the game. Second break in a row. Mickle picking up the disc. Freechild as his dump. DiGirolamo looking to the middle. Mickle swings to Freechild. Freechild to Lamar. Lamar goes big to DiGirolamo. He's got Jackson Kluwer on him. It's going to be a battle in the air. And Kluwer goes up with a big D. Gives Bravo the chance for the offensive score again. Quite the impressive read by the young cutter. Doing it on both sides, offense and defense. Durst taps it in on the sideline. 70 yards to go for Bravo. Up to Rome. Rome up line to Ackley. Ackley has a cutter downfield. He doesn't hit him. Gets him on the other under. It's Clark Bishop, 10 yards outside the end zone. And that is going to be a foul on Lamar. It was going around on the dump and just hits his hand. Not going to be contested. Bishop with the disc outside the end zone. Inside to Kluwer. No, inside to Farrell, I'm sorry. And Bishop goes back up line for the score, 2-2. Farrell to Bishop. That is a crew of veterans on this Bravo team. And Bravo coming out on defense, trying to get a break back. Looks like out there we have Jake Juzak going to pull the disc. Henry Conker out there. Hilka Snyder. David Belsheim. Tim Morrissey, Jack McShane, and Justin Salvia. Juzak with the pull. Tommy Lee's going to let that bounce in the end zone. He's going to take it at the front of the end zone. Marked by Henry Conker. NextGen in a vertical stack. Philip Haas back at the dump. Will Driscoll to come out, but it's an inside break to Johnson. Thorne with the disc on the sideline. To Lee in the middle, around, but looks like there's a call on the field. Gonna go a pick in the stack. This goes back to Lee. He's got steps though. Kocher on the sideline. Driscoll. Hilka Snyder calling the foul on Driscoll, saying he pushed off him. Driscoll and Snyder talking it out. Looks like the foul's been revoked. Driscoll on the sideline. And a pick called on the field. That is Jack McShane guarding Eric Johnson. McShane, a captain on his 3rd year at Bravo. He's doing really well for that defensive line. And Kocher tries to throw a huck, but goes right into a poaching Jake Juzak. Salvia all the way over to Morrissey. Morrissey up the line to McShane. McShane on the sideline. Stoppage of play. It's going to go in the middle to Juzak. Juzak to Conquer. And just a little inside of the intended receiver, Tim Morrissey. NextGen offense is going to get another chance at this disc. 1 turnover on both sides of the team. Haas picking up the disc. Breaks around to Johnson. Johnson to Thorne. Oh, and Thorne and Driscoll with a miscommunication. Driscoll with a few steps but started to come under. Thorne with that famous outside in flick. He could definitely throw the ball, but that time, just a little miscommunication. Bravo with the disc there in a vert stack. McShane tapping in at the goal line. McShane goes deep immediately. Oh, and Hilka Snyder puts on the Jets. He's not in the end zone. On the goal line. Back to McShane on a push pass, and that is a goal. But a travel called. This disc is going to go back. McShane with yards. Snyder will probably go right back to him. Johnson closes in. Stops the pass, but over to the live side. McShane scores, and that is a break for Johnny Bravo. We're back on serve. Johnny Bravo up 3-2.
Back on serve, 3-2.
McShane at almost 70-yard full field huck at the start. He is a big handler on that Bravo defense. He'll be putting the ball upfield and getting the dump, getting the reset, and just keep running that disc. A young player on this line, but he's clearly has a lot of respect on this team. On his 3rd year on Bravo, he's already been elected as one of the captains, and he is showing poise out there on the field today. Looking at the Bravo D-line, we have Salvia down there. Durst, McShane, Farrell, Evan Pageant, Bishop. Ryan Farrell with the pull. Philip Haas to receive. He's 10 yards back in his end zone. Centers to Thorne. Mickle in isolation. Bravo doing a good job poaching that inside lane. They're playing soft on the handlers. Colin Camp gets open under. Bravo clamping down into the man. Thorne breaks inside to Janin. Janin to DiGirolamo. To Camp. Haas has yards. Camp puts it on the outside in. Haas and Evan Pageant. He's going to be at the back of the end zone, but just goes out the back. Can't make a play on it. Bravo with another chance to break. Philip Haas, player from Germany. He just got on the bus after getting on a plane from Worlds in Japan. An excellent experience for that kid. We're expecting to see big things from the international player this year. Salvia with the disc. 5 yards in his end zone. Up to Belsheim. Belsheim can't get the dump off. Up to Pageant. A misbid by Philip Haas. And Pageant goes deep. Jacob Shannon goes up big. Jacob Janin over Joe Durst. He's a small guy, but he can certainly get up there. NextGen offense attacking once again. Thorne with the disc, and Thorne with a hammer to Allison Hall. He's going to get there. Oh, and goes for the one-handed grab. Cannot get that in the end zone. An impressive hammer on the break side, but just doesn't work out. And a deep game battle. McShane throwing a nice huck to Farrell. He's not in the end zone, and he's going to hit Evan Pageant for the goal. Second break in a row from Johnny Bravo. They're going to go up 4-2.
Johnny Bravo leads 4-2.
NextGen takes a risky throw, and it looks like they're going to take a timeout, regroup early in this game.
Timeout next.
Oh, NextGen takes a timeout and regroups. We're going to take a timeout and regroup too. We will be back in a minute. And welcome back to the NextGen game, inaugural game of the 2012 tour. NextGen Bus taking on Johnny Bravo. Bravo, 2 breaks in a row to go up 4-2. NextGen takes a timeout, regrouping themselves. Really not doing bad down there as a team. An unfortunate drop on a big hammer from Alex Thorne, and they just couldn't recover. Bravo doing a great job playing that deep game early on the defensive points. Jack McShane with 2 beautiful hucks to put Bravo right outside the end zone, and they just take easy goals. Bravo with the pull. Tommy Lee to field it 10 yards in his end zone to Mickle. Mickle on the live side to DiGirolamo. Free Child, high release to Camp. Camp to Allison Hall on that sideline. Over the Free Child, and wants to go on the inside break. A nice mark by Conker. Mickle goes around to Johnson. Johnson on that sideline. Puts up a floaty pass to Mickle. Not bad idea with the tall handler. And just throws it a little too far in front of DiGirolamo. Can't make the play. Looking at his gloves. Wanted that to be in his hands. McShane to pick up the disc. He's been doing great for this Bravo defense. 2 beautiful hucks already. Centers to Belsheim. Belsheim to Morrissey, back to Belsheim. 10 yards back of the end zone, center of the field. Juzak to Conker. Morrissey, Juzak. NextGen playing soft on these handlers, really trying to take away that deep shot that's been hurting them thus far. But McShane is going to release to Schneider. That's Mickle on him. And Schneider gets the better read. That is the 3rd break in a row for Bravo.
Bravo teammate Jimmy Mickle.
Bravo goes up 5-2. That matchup between Mickle and Schneider, something that's a very familiar matchup for them. Both of them big stars out of Colorado, playing with each other out of Bravo this year. But Hilka, just being the more dominant player out there, he is a big man to guard. Hilka coming back from Bravo this year after playing a year on Sockeye last year. but he will be doing some school during the summer and would like to play with his home team again. And I'm sure they're very glad to have him back on the field. Captain Ryan Farrell to pull for Bravo. D-line on a roll so far, up 5-2. Haas fields it, centers to Lee. Around to Janin. Janin to Lee. Haas. Lee back to Haas, a nice give and go touch. Haas to Lamar. Thorne. Call on the field. Looks like it's going to be a pick, but a disc is going to stay. Thorne being marked by the big Craig Forshee. Still has no trouble going around to Lamar. Tommy Lamar out of plays for Ring of Fire, North Carolina. Also plays for North Carolina Seaman. Haas stuck on that sideline. He goes a hammer over the top. Janin goes up but can't get a hand on it. There's Janin and Driscoll going up for the field. Justin Salvia to pick up the disc. Upfield to Rome, getting big yards, and Rome is going to unleash to Kluwer. Kluwer's got steps. And Jackson Kluwer with another goal and another break for Bravo.
Another break for Johnny Bravo. 6-2.
Bravo up 6-2. Philip Haas having a tough time getting that disc off the sideline, being marked by Kluwer down there, and he's able to take away all the dump options, and so Haas is forced to go over the top. Two players going up for a hammer. That's a jump ball that's not going to be in your favor very often. And then Kluwer taking advantage of the injured Haas, going downfield, plenty of steps. And a nice goal by Bravo. NextGen struggling to find their offense in here. Not surprising given the team's been together for one day, but we certainly expect them to pull out all the stops as they get back to the wall. Free child to Thorne. Bravo playing a junkie set to stop that first play. Camp with the disc in the middle of the field. He goes to Mickle. Centers to Johnson. Round to Freechild. Some NextGen veterans down there handling. Thorne with the disc. Round to Johnson. Freechild. Camp. A pick is going to be called on that Johnson upline cut. McShane came through Westbrook there. Camp is going to keep the disc on the sideline, being marked by big Ethan Pollock. Around to Mickle. Mickle inside across the field. Johnson 15 yards out. Inside upline to Mickle, and he just can't find his hand on the disc. Belsheim's going to pick up the disc. Bravo's going to be attacking immediately. McShane in the middle of the field. He goes up. Little miscommunication with Hilka Snyder. He's been liking that connection so far in this game, but Schneider had other ideas to come under. A fortunate break for NextGen offense here to save going to 4 breaks in a row and down 7-2. Here we are, Thorne picking up the disc. NextGen trying their horizontal stack for the first time in this game. Bravo sagging on that live side handler. Playing a bit of a junk set. Not wanting any deep throws to go off. Free child on the sideline. Pick called upfield, and we can see Salvia 5 yards up in front of that disc. He's stopping that upfield throw. A great handler guard out of Colorado. Lamar on the sideline. Centers to Johnson. Around to Thorne. To Mickle. Allison Hall has yards. He's going to put on the Jets if that stays in, and it doesn't stay in. Allison Hall is a fast player and might have been able to catch up to that, but Mickle just couldn't have kept it in, trying to force it down that sideline. McShane to pick up the disc for Bravo. An interesting set for Bravo. Oh, looks like they're going to get a lot of yards upfield. They're in a horizontal stack with one guy over on the sideline. Snyder on the sideline. Tries to go up line, but calls a foul on Lamar. Disc is going to come back to Schneider. Lamar had already taken off downfield, thinking it was a turn. Looks like the disc is going to stay, and a timeout is called by Johnny Bravo.
Johnny Bravo, timeout.
They're looking to punch in another break. About 25 yards outside this end zone. And as Bravo tries to get a break, we're going to take a break too. Oh, we'll be back in a minute. Back of the game. Bravo coming out of the timeout. Already tapped the disc in. Schneider on the sideline. Travel called on the around break to Salvia. Tommy Lamar on Hilga Schneider. Just gets back in. Around to Salvia, losing some yards on the dump. Nice inside throw to Tim Morrissey. Snyder, push pass to Belsheim. He's on the sideline. Salvia to McShane. McShane goes around. And McShane, another nice throw. And another break for Bravo. Goes up 7-2.
Another break for Johnny Bravo, 7-2.
Johnny Bravo has been looking very good this game, and not surprising, they've been having a pretty successful season thus far, winning the U.S. Open over Chain Lightning. They're expecting big things out of their team this year. A lot of returners, very familiar with each other this year. After last year, Club Nationals coming in 11th, they're expecting to do much bigger things, climbing up to that top spot like they were in the mid-2000s. When they peaked in 2007 in the USA Club Nationals Finals. Juzak with the pull. Haas centers to Lee. Lee around to Freechild. NextGen in a horizontal stack again. DiGirolamo. Lee. Inside to Driscoll. He wants to go upfield, but can't find Kocher. Haas. A call on the play This goes back. Girolamo. Haas. Free child up the line. Haas in the middle. Around to Lee. Girolamo on the live side. Free child on the dump. Tries to go inside and a nice foot block by Jake Juzak. Bravo defense with the disc again. That's Ryan Farrell on the sideline. Around to Forshee. To Conquer. Forshee going deep to Rome. Janin is there. And Janin can't get up. Rome. Big sky on Jacob Janin to take Bravo to half. And then free child trying to get on this inside throw. Does a little shimmy, but a very big mark from Jake Juzak. And then Jesse Rome going big over Jacob Janin. Bravo takes a big half, 8-2. And NextGen is going to have to find their bearings in this halftime. Hopefully we'll see them come back after halftime, and we'll come back to you in a couple minutes. And welcome back to the NextGen versus Johnny Bravo game, our first game of the 2012 NextGen Tour here in Denver, Colorado. Story of the game is Johnny Bravo's defense taking the ball deep, going up 8-2, a big lead for the NextGen All-Stars to overcome. But after halftime, they're going to regroup, and we're going to see how they respond. Tommy Lee centers it to Haas. NextGen in the vert stack. Haas break to Allison Hall. Janin. Janin a loopy around blade to Mickle. Girolamo around backhand break, and it's not going to be caught by Tommy Lee. Floating all the way on the outside. And that high altitude, it's a little bit different throws. Maybe the sea-level pit player was not expecting the disc to go so far. Farrell to pick up the disc for Bravo. On the front cone, up line to McShane. Guarded by Janin. Inside break to Westbrook. Snyder up the line to McShane. McShane, big foul by Janin in pursuit. McShane saying that Mickle was closer. He looks like he wants to go over the top to David Belsheim. It's going to be a lot easier if that defender is not there. This gets tapped in. McShane on the cone. Centers to Forshee. Snyder. Belsheim. And Haas picks up the disc. The travel is called. Haas did not bring it all the way up to the goal line. I think that's what the travel is going to be called. He caught it, took a few steps, didn't continue all the way to the goal line, and under USA rules, you either have to throw it from where you picked it up or you have to bring it to the goal line and ground tap. He's going to take the disc back to where he caught it. Taps in. Haas with a nice around backhand to get out of that to Camp. Camp to Haas. Girolamo. Lee. Allison Hall has steps. Lee with the flick huck. And he's going to step in for the goal. Goal by NextGen. First point of the half. After a turnover, they're able to get it back on the goal line, go down 70 yards, and get the momentum back in their favor.
NextGen with
Camden Allison Hall down that sideline, makes a great move on Jack McShane, gets the separation, and if you're Tommy Lee, you cannot not throw that throw. Speedy Allison Hall. Clav catches into the goal. NextGen on D. They're able to generate one turn in the first half, but then struggled on offense for the rest of the half. So we'll see how fired up the offense is to get the points. Out there we have Tommy Lamar, Johnson, Driscoll, Cocker, Kocher, Freechild, Camp, and Thorne. Thorne is going to pull.
We'll just do call me maybe for the rest of the game, okay?
That pull goes out of bounds. And Josh Ackley is going to take it at the brick. Josh Ackley, a veteran player for this Bravo team, coming out of Colorado. He won the college championships in 2004, the year that he also won the Callahan. Big player for Bravo. Swing to Durst. Durst can't get a dump. Johnson playing nice D, but Ackley gets it up line. Another upline shot. Durst with the disc. Upline to Rome. Durst and Bishop's defender, Freechild, comes under to try to get a poach block, but doesn't make it in time, leaving Bishop wide open in the end zone. Bravo up 9-3.
Bravo up 9-3.
First point out of the half. Second point out of the first point for Bravo. Second point out of the half. Bravo's D-line doing very good this game. They made some adjustments from last year's squad. They brought over Captain Jack McShane and Captain Ryan Farrell onto the D-line. And those two solid handlers have been doing a great job for the Bravo deep game. Jake Juzak with the pull. Haas fields it up to Lee. Lee around to Kocher. Lee. Mickle. Mickle can't get a dump off, has to throw something over the face of the field. It gets D'd by Bravo. Snyder now with the disc. Upfield to Juzak. On the sideline to McShane. Takes a dump to Forshee. McShane all the way around to Juzak. Farrell. Bravo 15 yards out. Forshee. Farrell. Up line. And a nice bid by Craig Forshee. Just can't get a finger on it. A little too far on that handler up line pass. Bravo has been doing that up line very successfully this entire game. NextGen offense with another chance at the disc. A physical bid by Farrell, but Allison Hall is able to keep possession. Girolamo to Mickle. Mickle on the sideline wanting someone to go deep. Camp. Camp unleashes. Outside in. Fading away over to Girolamo's head. Unable to make a play on it. And that is the second turnover. This point for NextGen. Second chance at a score for Bravo. Farrell bringing the disc up to the goal line. They're going to have to go the full 70 yards. McShane going up line, guarded by Mickle. A little hammer over the top. Separation, but it is not soft enough. Blade takes it straight into the ground. A nice D by Mickle to stop that up line. Lee with an inside break to Haas. He's 3 yards outside that goal line. Centers to Mickle. Mickle goes around to Lee. And that is a break for NextGen. Bring it to 4-9.
NextGen break, 4-9.
Jimmy Mickle just taking control at that point. On that goal line, he's able to stop the first pass up line to McShane. Bravo's been liking to go take their handlers up line, and Jimmy Mickle on this Bravo team, very familiar, puts a body on Jack McShane and is able to force a over-the-top hammer a few yards. That's a difficult throw to put touch on. Once he has it in the middle of the field, he's able to throw it around. It gets a nice break for NextGen. Jimmy Mickle became famous for his pulls last year on this tour. Everyone enjoys seeing that big outside in float. Looks like that one floats a little too far out of bounds. Bravo to take it at the brick. Owen Westbrook to center. Looks like they're about 5 yards in front of the brick mark. Ackley in the middle of the field, looking for that first cut. Gets it on a physical bid from Lamar. And tries to force a huck to Clark Bishop, but Will Driscoll is there. Bishop trying to go over him, but a big body on Driscoll. He's not going to let that go. NextGen with their second chance to break this half. Thorne to pick up the disc. NextGen in a vert stack. Ackley, after a physical bid, probably has a adrenaline going, wanting to take that throw. NextGen on offense. Mickle throws deep. Driscoll on the other side of the field. Can't go up over Bishop. Defensive side wins the jump ball on both of those hucks. Bravo offense to start the disc, 70 yards to go. Ackley taking it up to the front cone, guarded by Johnson. Rowan all the way in the backfield. He's coming back under. Ethan Pollock. Rome, he puts up a huck. Ethan Pollock has yards. He's going to be able to run that down. Makes a bid and can't get it. Big going from the crowd. They thought he had it, but just can't put a hand on it. Ethan Pollock, a big cutter coming out of Cornell University. Part of those large receivers that Cornell had on their run into quarters at the 2010 College Nationals. NextGen is going to take a timeout.
NextGen calls timeout.
There seems to be some discussion on the field about where the count is going to come in. Pollock saying he got a few seconds on, but Mickle arguing that he tapped it in, called that timeout immediately. The disc should be coming in as stalling one. And while they take a timeout, we're going to take a timeout too and be back with you in just a second. Well, Will Driscoll makes a nice catch. We're sorry that we weren't able to show you that full point. The commercial's taking a little bit longer than we expected. But NextGen Comes out of the timeout. Runs it up the field till EJ gets it about, Eric Johnson gets it about half field and then puts a big throw to Driscoll. Driscoll had a lot of space. It looks like there's some contest, maybe a pick call downfield, but observers are going to rule no foul. That is going to count as a break for NextGen. And they're going to go 9-5. Bravo over NextGen. Yeah, the second break for NextGen in this half.
Another break for NextGen. 9-5.
Slowly crawling their way back. I think their defense is starting to put a lot of pressure on the Bravo offense. Coming out of the half, feeling the pressure. They're definitely able to get up big in games like this. Know when to turn on the Jets. The advantage of having a lot of star players on your team. NextGen D-line out there. We have Lee, Kocher, Tommy Lamar, Johnson, Freechild, DiGirolamo, and Thorne. Thorne with a pull, bounces it right on that back corner, and it rolls out the back. Bravo is going to take it on the goal line. Ryan Farrell picking it up. NextGen in a bit of a junky zone. Looks like they're man on the handlers. A little junk downfield. Stopping that first play. Jackson Kluwer gets behind the stack, but Tyler DiGirolamo is able to get the yards and make a great play. NextGen picking it up and attacking immediately. Thorne with the disc in the middle of the field, call downfield. Looks like it's going to be a pick in that middle of the field. NextGen in a vertical stack, going for their second break in a row. Thorne tapping the disc in. Over to Lee. Lee to Kocher. A pick called on Westbrook guarding Kocher. It's going to go back to Lee. Oh, going to stay at Kocher. Westbrook saying he wasn't going to make a play on it, so the disc stays, but he gets to gain his yards back. Johnson. Johnson opens up a huck to Freechild. Freechild puts on the Jets. And that disc sails out of bounds. If that hadn't have gone over the back line, I think Freechild would have had a chance to make a bid on it. But these 20-yard end zones, just not enough space for the speedy Freechild to make up the ground. Bravo offense gets another opportunity to go full 70 yards. NextGen resets in their zone. Kocher on the mark. Durst with a lefty break. Farrell to Ackley. Farrell. Hammer into the middle to Rome. Rome to Westbrook. Lamar with a nice D. Sorry, not Westbrook. That's Craig Forsey. Lamar with a D, but it looks like it was going to stay. Talking to the observers, probably a foul call. Disc is going to stay. Ackley all the way over to Durst. Durst up the line to Westbrook. To Rome. Rome going for the dump. Hits the turf, but he's calling a foul on Lamar. Some discussion. A relatively clean game today, but Bravo has been known to be a bit of a nuisance on their foul calls. Last year was a very heated game between the NextGen and Johnny Bravo. a few TMFs, a lot of physical play. And Bravo at Club Nationals actually got the lowest spirit score at about a 2.4, almost a full point below everyone else. This has been addressed by the captains and the coaches. They're working really hard to improve their image as a program and really improve their time on the field, earning the respect on the team. Like I said, a relatively clean game today, but as the pressure gets on, we'll see how it goes. NextGen with another chance for a break. Thorn with the disc. Centers to Lee. Lee flick huck to Lamar. It's going towards the sideline. Kluwer's on it, and that disc is going to float out of bounds. An unfortunate miss huck by Lee. Lamar had space up the field, but that disc went a little too far to the side and not north and south. Bravo working it back up. Another long field to work with. Westbrook on the sideline. Forshee. Forshee around to Westbrook. All the way to Ackley. Westbrook has it. Kocher comes in. Looks like he's going to get the poach D, but can't make a play. Up the line to Westbrook. Around to Farrell. NextGen still in this zone all the way downfield. And Bravo with 2 upline runs from the handler position. They're able to burn past those dump defenders for the final 10 yards and get a goal. A long offensive point for Bravo. Impressive play by the NextGen defense. They can't put it in, but making Bravo feel the pressure. Ackley just gets that disc up line, immediately goes up, burning past Kocher. DiGirolamo almost making a play coming poached off the downfield stack, but Ackley attacks the disc strong. Bravo up 10-5. Jake Juzak to pull. Bravo on defense. Johnson fielding the pull. Centers to Haas. Haas to Janin. A pick called on the field, but the disc is going to stay. Salvia on Janin. Up to Mickle. Colin Camp has yards. Mickle is going to release a flick, and he is wide open for the score. Able to sneak away from Hilka Snyder down there. NextGen with a quick offensive point.
NextGen with a quick offensive point.
Makes it 6-10. Game to 15. NextGen needs to make up a few points, but every break is a 2-point swing. Their defense is fiery out there. Been generating a lot of turns in this half and doing very well, but just unable to punch it in on the offensive side. NextGen's D-line looks like they have a lot of height out there with Tommy Lamar, Will Driscoll, Jimmy Mickle, and Colin Camp. Camden Allison Hall, also not a small player. And Eric Johnson and Jacob Janin rounding out the line. Jimmy Mickle with a big bladey outside end pull. That's going to hit the ground right at the goal line. Westbrook knocks it down. Centers to Ackley. He's able to get a lot of yards up to Clark, who makes a great bid to save that disc. Gets it back in the middle of the field. Swings to Ethan Pollock. Back to Westbrook. Around to Pollock. Up to Westbrook. Will Driscoll. making a play coming off his defender. Ackley around to Pollock. A nice around break. Pollock fires one in to Clark Bishop's chest. It bounces off, but he's able to recover. Fires up with a big spike. But it seems like this goal is going to come back. Taking a look at that Clark Bishop bid, that is a nice play. This is going to come back for Bravo on the goal line. A travel called on Ethan Pollock. And he's able to go up the line to Evan Pageant, not in. Evan Pageant around to Westbrook. Driscoll playing some nice goal line defense there. Ackley with the disc, breaks inside, and finds Craig Forshe for the goal. Bravo offense finding their bearings there. Able to break through the zone very quickly. Swings it all the way across the field. They ate up 60 yards in a matter of a few seconds. But NextGen recovers well and is able to make a brief goal line stand, but not enough for the brilliant throws of Josh Ackley. As we mentioned, Josh Ackley was Callahan winner out of Colorado in 2004. Bravo actually has a second Callahan winner on their squad. Joe Kirshner out of Arizona won the Callahan in 2008. Unfortunately, he's not here tonight. He's been injured. He was out of the U.S. Open too. But strong players for this Bravo team as they're excited to make a big mark this season. Bravo defense with the pull. Thorne. Huck immediately to Freechild, marked by Salvia. Disc blades over him, not able to make the play. Bravo running on their offense. McShane, disc up the sideline. He's having a impressive game today, lots of big throws. Salvia with a round throw, but intended receiver Jake Juzak just not recognizing the throw. NextGen offense with another chance to score. Lee inside break to Freechild. Continues around to Thorne. Thorne with an inside throw to Haas. He's down the sideline in the corner, and he's able to keep that in. NextGen offense scores, making it 7-11.
NextGen with the score, 11-7.
Speaking of injuries, you can see out there number 6. That is Matt Rader. He hurt his ankle at the first practice yesterday. Matt Rader, big player, young player out of Seattle, plays for Sockeye. Doesn't go to an ultimate college, but he does play track for his school in Southern California. So he's still working hard and loves to be here on the NextGen Tour. You can see that brace on his ankle. Certainly would love to have a big guy like that on the field. We hope to have him back soon. NextGen defense with the pull. Westbrook Fields. Center 7 Pageant. NextGen in that junkie set again. Stopping the first play. Breaking across the middle is Ackley. Forshe to Pageant. Pageant to Ackley. Pageant goes up line. Another handler up line. Swings around. Clear up field. Forshe going up line. Ackley to Pageant. All the way around to Westbrook. Continues to Pollock. Pageant.
Call me maybe.
Pollock, Westbrook on that sideline. Around to Ackley. Continues to Forshee. Going up that break side to Pageant. Pageant with big hammer fakes. A few yards outside. Throws a scuba across the field to Ackley. Rome. Centers to Ackley. Ackley with another inside break for a goal to Pageant. Evan Pageant trying to resuscitate that disc. It doesn't look like it. Bringing out the fun spikes in this game. Bravo certainly having fun being up 12-7. Bravo maybe feeling the embarrassment last year being NextGen's second loss on their home turf. They're definitely out here to make a statement, not just against the NextGen team, but also to the club world. They're expecting to do big things this year, looking to return to that top bracket at Club Nationals after some disappointing finishes in the last few years. Juzak with the pull. Bounces inside the goal line, or inside the back of the end zone, rolls into the goal. NextGen to take it on the goal line. Tommy Lee around to Allison Hall. Back to Lee. Lee backhand huck. Thorne has yards. If that floats, he's going to get it. And jumps so he gets in the end zone. NextGen offense scores.
Alex Thorne with the goal. Score 12. Johnny Bravo. NextGen 8.
Thorne is able to get open in that back of the stack. Lee, a big thrower from D3 powerhouse, Claremont College. Tommy Lee was pivotal in Claremont's D3 championship in 2011. Also a Junior Worlds player. NextGen down 8-12. Coming into crunch time for the NextGen defense. Jimmy Mickle with a pretty ridiculous bladey pull. That is almost completely horizontal, vertical. Bravo offense off and running. Rome to Forshee. Forshee to Pollock. Pollock with a lefty over to the inside. And Josh Ackley with his third assist on that inside-out break and the last 3 points for this offense. He's having a great game.
Ackley with another assist. Bravo 13. NextGen 8.
Nice inside-out break from Ackley to Rome. Bravo defense feeling comfortable with the lead. But their coach is probably encouraging to keep the pressure on. Always a chance to improve this early in the season. NextGen offense, Lee, Camp, Allison Hall, Haas, Thorne, and Mickle. Lee can't stop that pull. It's going to bounce off him going to the back of the end zone. That means he's going to take it on the back line. Gets caught in the goal netting. Breaks it out to Haas. Haas on a backhand throw. Not wanting to risk a short field turnover. Gives Bravo a big field. McShane. Conquer. Up the line to McShane. Snyder. McShane. Pick called on the field. Bravo's defensive offense, relying heavily on the handling of Jack McShane. He likes to put the disc upfield and be the quick reset, as you may have noticed. McShane to Salvia. Salvia upfield to Farrell. Farrell on that sideline. He's going to go a scuba to Salvia. Salvia inside. Nice bid by Colin Camp, but he just can't get it. And Snyder is able to just put it in the breadbasket for Jake Juzak. And that is a break for Johnny Bravo. Puts him up 14-8 on game point. This is do or die time for the NextGen offense. NextGen looking a little winded out here. First game in this altitude. Certainly not something they would like to have, but it can only get easier from here. It looks like a timeout is called, and we're going to take a timeout as well and see you at the end of the game. Bravo to pull, up 14-8 on this NextGen team. Tommy Lee goes deep immediately to Janin. Janin's got steps. He is a speedy receiver and catches it with ease past Jack McShane. A two-pass offensive point for NextGen. Wonderful call play to send the speedy Jacob Janin deep from the handler position. When he goes those steps, he is hard to catch. Jacob Janin, just the separation that he's able to get on Jack McShane is phenomenal. Pivotal player in Whitman College's run. They made it to the D1 Nationals for the first time in the Histories program last year. And after a great season in this year, they couldn't get past Washington University to make it to the D1 Nationals again. But Janin's got another year at Whitman, so we'll see how he's able to do. Bravo on offense on game point. Pageant to Rome. Girolamo playing tight. Inside break, goes past everyone. Mickle picks it up. NextGen is taking their offense quickly. And a fast throw by Girolamo. Well past Mickle. He's not able to come up with it. NextGen is going to have to earn the disc back again if they don't want this to be the last point. Josh Ackley at the goal line. Round to Westbrook. Jackson Kluwer wide open in the middle of the field. Forshee. And another miscommunication by Bravo. Westbrook going up line. Forshee looking at the dump. NextGen has the disc again. Lamar going across the field to Allison Hall. Tries to make a play on it. He says it's my bad. He had plenty of time to catch that disc, but just mistimes his jump. Two unfortunate throws by NextGen. And Bravo with a third chance on offense to put this game away. Ackley with the disc on the sideline. Around to Pageant. Pageant lays out to save that disc. Ackley up line. Johnson not able to make a play. Centers to Kluwer. Back to Ackley. Quick handler movement. Kluwer inside upfield to Forshee. Dump pass to Pageant. Around to Ackley. A foul is called on the dump throw. And a timeout by Johnny Bravo. They want to be sure to put this one away. We're going to take a timeout too. Get back to you at the end. No commercial. Excellent. We get to talk to you for the last few minutes of this game. Johnny Bravo doing a great job. NextGen struggling in their first game. As is expected from a team that has only been able to practice with each other once. And certainly last year in their first couple games, having the tough schedule, starting with Furious George and having to play Sockeye. Unable to really get their legs together until their third game against Rhino when they got their first win. Bravo set the tap the disc back in. A bit of a horizontal stack. 2 cutters ISO'd in the middle of the field. Clark coming all the way across. He gets the disc, guarded by Allison Hall. Back to Ackley, guarded by Johnson. All the way around to Rome. Johnson stopping the upfield pass. Goes back to Ackley. Ackley, Westbrook gets wide open behind everyone. He's at the back of the line, and he's able to keep it in. But that disc is going to come back on a travel. A nice play by Owen Westbrook to be wary of the line. Knows he's coming to the end. Slows up and is able to toe that in. Unfortunately, a travel on the throw by Ackley. The disc is going to come back. And Bravo's back in play. Ackley. Pageant. Ackley going up line, gets the disc. Inside break all the way across the field to Jackson Kluwer. Forshee. Pageant. 10 yards out of the end zone. All the way around to Rome. Ackley goes up line. And an up line strike from the handler. It's been working for Bravo all day. Works in the last point. And Johnny Bravo is going to take this game 15-9.
Johnny Bravo takes the game 15-9.
NextGen All-Stars inaugural game. Struggling a bit early. Some impressive play in the second half, but as I say, it's too little too late against a very strong Johnny Bravo team. We're excited to see what Johnny Bravo does further in the club circuit. And we're excited to see how NextGen recovers on Sunday in Minneapolis when we play Sub-Zero. From the NextGen Network, I am your commentator for the year, Topher Davis. Thank you to Vin Bew for doing a great job producing. And we will see you back in Minneapolis.